We welcome you to episode 62 of Battin and Chattin here in Eastern Observer. Alongside Denis Tuohy, I'm Brandon Natale. Before we get started, please hit that subscribe button on YouTube to be kept in on the loop on everything Eastern Observer and most importantly, Battin and Chattin. Our show can be found on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and wherever else podcasts can be found. Dennis, how you doing on this fine evening? A lot going on in the baseball world.
Way better than I was this weekend. I can tell you that much. We're talking.
Right. I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, I got a touch of the COVID,
Oof.
and almost hit me with that Magic the Gathering death touch Saturday. Fainted twice in my house. Had to go to the hospital. But now, as Lord Voldemort would say, the boy who lived. That's me. Yep. I'm I'm locked in, ready to go. Thought I was going to work today, but tested positive again. So I was like, damn it.
I'm
Another
sorry.
day off. So my hair is gelled. I was ready to go. Figured get completely ready, shaved, get completely
Right.
ready
You
while
would
the
be
test
working.
is running. And yeah,
You would usually be working right now, correct?
I would.
Right. Luckily, we can do this now because then I can do some. I can do overtime tonight at my job.
Yeah.
So that's worked out good. I had no problem doing it now. I was gonna say not that's well, like I said, a lot going on in the baseball world, and then some very sad news, but also very great stuff going on. Obviously, my OMG, let's go Mets.
Yeah.
Like, it's they're on over right now. We're gonna talk about that soon, but we have to bring this up right away in the show. Well, first off, rest in peace to John Atmos. Right, that was his name, right?
Yeah. John Amos.
Amos. That shocked me. That made me really sad. I love him and coming to America. He's in Die Hard too. I don't know a
Yeah.
lot of people know that.
He was in it. He was in Psych. He was in Psych. He cracked me up. I love that show. That's my favorite show ever. Love it. He was funny in one of the episodes. He was in one episode. He was hilarious in it.
He wasn't coming to America too. Like he was in the second one. I remember, but like it was not that big of a role.
Yeah. I mean, he was old.
He was right. So I guess he just yeah.
Yeah.
So that was crazy when I heard that. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
So rest in peace.
Kembe Mutombo too.
Can't be Matumbo. He had brain cancer. That sucked. That I was like that. Very great guy, great human. It was just
Hmm.
sad that what happened to him. He, passed brain cancer. That definitely don't want to say touched home, but obviously brain cancer is no joke. So I'll say that's all I'm gonna say on that. Um, rest in peace to him. P Rose, the all-time MLB hits leader. Very controversial MLB player, but also known as one of the best to ever do it in the game of baseball. Has sadly passed away at the age of 83. He passed of natural causes. I believe is surrounded by his family. But that was definitely shocking. Um, a lot of I said to my dad before, I was like, hey, a lot of people dying. Well, knock on my table. Yep. And my dad said to me, he's like, that's life. And I was like, yeah, that's right. Again, knock on this. But yeah, P Rose, man, that shocked me a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
I didn't hear if he was in bad health or anything like that. I didn't hear anything. So like Mutombo, I knew he had cancer. I remember they were talking about it, and so like that. Well, shocking was still less shocking than Pete Rose, especially it was like wasn't it right after one of the playoff games or right during the playoff games or something like that yesterday? Just like it just
he passed. Yeah, was he yesterday or Monday? I
Monday.
think Monday he passed. If I'm right, let me just look at more of his stats just to bring up because
Yeah,
we,
I
we
forget
need to
what
talk
day it
about his
was.
we need to talk about his stats though. Like just
Oh, I mean he's one of the best.
he was from he was or he passed in Vegas on it's crazy. I know I
So
was listening. He passed at so I think it was Monday, September 30th.
okay. Yeah, I forgot what day it was. So I think it was right after the doubleheader
Right.
because I was watching MLB Network when it broke.
I don't say it's weird. Like I this is crazy how things are. Like me and my dad we're at the Jet game Sunday. Jets suck. And the MetLife traffic is awful. Don't get me
Uh
started on
huh.
that. Um we were talking to some people about like I think my dad mentioned something about it. I don't know how it came up. He mentioned something about a Rose baseball card, and now he had it. The next day he dies. How weird is that? Weird? Like
Yeah, I mean,
knock on knock on this.
yeah.
That's just weird. So, and I gotta. My dad said he's got to look for the rookie card though. Like he said he has a P Rose rookie card. If I'm correct.
Dude, the stats for him, I mean, we all know them. We all know them. League MVP, Rookie of the Year, 3-time World Series winner, 17-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glover, Silver Slugger, 3-time batting title, World
I'll,
Series
I'll bring
MVP,
up the stats.
Clemente Award, and the most amount of hits he had in a season, 230. Unbelievable. I mean, 230. Obviously, we all know Ichiro has the record with forgetting off the top of my head here, but he does have the record with 238. No, 262. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
but I mean, Pete Rose. That's
yeah.
a lot of bold in there,
Incredible,
and
especially a
then
lot of all
he.
time. Especially like one of the biggest. A lot of gold. Like that's those the ones that are highlighted in gold. Those are pretty big. Like the at
Mhm.
bats,
I don't know. He
hits.
had the most games played. I
Yeah,
always would have assumed that would have been Cal Ripken Jr.
that's crazy to me. You know, like Kyle Ripken or like P Rose has the most games ever, most at bats, plate appearances. That's a lot of plate appearances. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, because I think he was the leadoff guy for a lot of his time,
He played
and like
for
second in the lineup.
right. He played from 63 to 86. That's a long time. I feel like baseball players they played or really they play longer than you think than a lot of players today. I feel like it's rare you see kind of those players that play like 20 years plus.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of reasons for that. I mean, he towards the end he was a player manager, so he would just check himself in, play, check himself out. Uh, like that's the kind of thing. Like those last couple of years there in Cincinnati, I don't know. Some of it was a little. He wasn't playing full games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean that's still wild
it
that
wasn't
he
a lot of
played that
seasons.
much.
A
Yeah.
lot of home runs. Like he wasn't a home run hitter.
No, he was not.
No, just a hitter.
And back then, parks were a lot bigger because they're all old,
Right.
so they weren't like what you see now. That's
Yeah.
why like when people talk about like so and so, like Hank Aaron never had 50 home run seasons. Yeah, but if Hank Aaron was in the league now, he probably would.
He probably have like 70 a year.
Oh my god, if he was on the Astros, he'd have 90.
Willie
You
Mays
know.
too. Especially reading. I'm just looking at Hank. Yeah, I should have. Well, yeah. But especially reading Hank Aaron. No, Willie Mays, the book I'm reading about. He talks about how Candlestick in the Polo Grounds. But he talks about how Candlestick was very like hollow and like hollow, where it's like it was very windy and just it's like you're playing. It was like you're playing a football game there. Like it's like I was the Niners played there, but I didn't play there till later. But it was not. He talks about how he probably would have had more home runs than he did because Candlestick had an effect on that due to the wind, the weather.
Mm-hmm.
Around that San Francisco Bay, around that area that they played at the Candlestick.
Yeah.
So, but like you said, who knows how long that would have been. These players that play in today's generation, forget about it. Maybe you would have saw a 100 home run hitter. Imagine that would have been crazy.
That I don't know if we'll ever see, but
Never.
with some of these ballparks, I don't know.
I think it'd be rare. Imagine that happens. Yeah, but it's tough. I mean, Mark McGuire and Barry Sanders. No, not Barry Sanders. Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds.
Barry Sanders, two-way player. Barry Sanders. I had no idea.
There's a lot of Barrys out there in this world. Barry Larkin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that's another Barry. Um, let's say, but Barry Bond. Barry, like, imagine what they would have. Like say they had when they had that home run stretch. They're chasing the record. That must have been great for baseball back then.
Yeah, 98, Sosa and McGuire. Certainly was.
And Bonds didn't have any effect on it either.
Well, he supposedly started juicing afterwards.
Okay.
So
Yeah. But
then he had like 73 in his season or whatever it was. Some ridiculous.
got you. Back to P Rose. But it's just that definitely now obviously the question is like, should he be? It sucks that he's not going to live to see be in Hall. Like if he ever was. I was listening to I guess First Take, and I know Mad Dog was talking about it, and Mad Dog was talking about how Mad Dog Chris Russo was talking about how the way he handled it made it hard, not easy for him to not get in. The way he handled the situation was very poor, like horrendously. That's why he's not in as and probably never will, or maybe that'll change.
Listen, here's how I look at it. If it was me, I don't know Pete Rose. I don't know his family. I don't know. If it was me and I was Pete Rose, I would be more insulted getting posthumously inducted than not getting inducted at all.
It's true. Yeah.
You either kept me out or you didn't. Don't do it because I'm not here anymore.
Yeah. No, it's true.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It does sound a bit
And
insulting. Yeah.
part of me feels similar for certain players that maybe weren't the best, but are in bad health. And now it's, come on, get them in the Hall of Fame before they go. Well, you kept them on pins and needles for how long? Do you know what I'm saying? Come on. Like to me, it's insulting. It's insulting. I think the Baseball Hall of Fame should be the same as the NFL Hall of Fame. Once you're on the ballot, you're on the ballot.
Yeah, I don't like I said. We discussed this plenty on the show. I don't like that at all. It's like you have 10 years, you don't get in. That's it. It's awful.
So stupid. It is so stupid. Well, if you weren't a Hall of Famer, in year one, you could. That doesn't mean anything. If you're on a crowded ballot, what are you supposed to do? We see these stats that we see now. The first to do this, the first to do that, the first to do. What's going to happen when they're around the same age, when Ohtani and Judge will retire the same year? Do you know what I'm saying?
I do.
Like, you're going to have guys like that around the same time that are going to retire around the same time. They're going to be on the same ballots. And it's going to be crowded. So I think the whole thing just needs to be revamped. And you want to hear something? I think the fans should get a vote.
That's true. Yeah.
I think they should have a list of all the candidates and top 3 voted by fans. Even ones that aren't on the ballot. Like a legacy ballot voted by the fans. Because I really do think the writers get it wrong quite a bit. Not as much as, I guess a regular fan would or players would. But I think writers get it wrong because some of them have personal access to grind. Some of them also just shouldn't be doing this job.
Right.
I mean, that's the reliever debate. Like, I saw one moron say that, this was not this previous ballot, but the one before it. The guy said, well, I don't vote for steroid users and I only vote for real pitchers, so my ballot is blank. He said that verbatim. Dude, that's not going to make me want to look at your article. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, save the clickbaity nonsense for the middle of the year when it really doesn't matter. But for a lot of these guys who spent their entire lives playing, it does. So it's a shame that he's going to go down as the most infamous non-Hall of Fame American athlete ever.
It does sound pretty insulting when, like, if you get voted in posthumously instead of being alive for it.
Yeah.
That is insulting.
What's the point if you don't have the speech? What's the point if you don't live to see the crowd? Right? It's a shame. I don't think he gets in. No, I shouldn't say that. I think he does get in, and I think it looks worse if for the league that he does.
Yeah, it's not gonna look. It's not gonna look good.
Yeah.
But either way,
Stephen A. in that segment, Stephen A. brought up a very good point.
did you watch that segment? That
I
was talking,
did.
yeah.
He said in 1999 at one of the All Star games, Pete Rose was there, and the whole crowd gave him a standing ovation. Stephen A. Smith said, "If the public can forgive him, why can't baseball?"
Yeah.
And I think that's a very good argument. I think a lot of Pete Rose's just reputation in general, people think maybe he's just a little. I don't know if it's a kind of a jerk, but he didn't exactly have like a glowing reputation by the time he passed, PR wise. He had made some comments in the past, had some issues kind of get resurfaced, and he didn't really make an attempt to show contrition. So I don't know if that had something to do with it. If it's just this whole thing is a debacle, one debacle after another, let's just move on.
Right.
Or, whatever it is. But I'm pretty sure both Johnny Bench and Joe Morgan said he shouldn't be in. They're his teammates on the Big Red Machine.
Yeah.
And inner circle Hall. I mean, the undisputed GOAT of catchers, the undisputed GOAT of second baseman. So,
Wow, that's crazy. Even Johnny
well,
Bench.
I don't know if I'd say Joe Morgan is. I mean, Jackie Robinson second, but certainly up there for Joe Morgan. Because they felt, listen, man, it said it on every locker room. You're not allowed to bet on games. Now, I could be wrong, or they could have flip-flopped or whatever, but I'm pretty sure that he had Pete Rose. Yeah.
Joe Morgan had a great career. Jesus. Yeah. 11 triples 1 year. Jesus. I'm looking at stats right now. Joe Morgan's. Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh.
All right. Yeah, Johnny Bench never thought he should have been. From what I just looked up. That he didn't support him. All right. Talk about modern baseball.
Yes, either way, P. Rose.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace to P. Rose.
All right. We got ourselves a playoffs.
Playoffs. Oh my
Yeah.
God. We got to talk about. I wish I would have brought up the home run from the doubleheader. We got to talk about the doubleheader first.
Before we do that, just because
Okay.
the starters were just announced, Seth Lugo for the Royals, Zach Eflin for the Orioles. Seth Lugo coming in with a 16-9 record, 3 ERA, 206.2 innings, and you guys thought he couldn't start games. 181 strikeouts per 48 walks. Brandon, I know this is a joyous week for you guys, but not looking good.
Wait.
Seth Lugo has been dominant. You guys let him go for nothing.
I wanted them to keep him. He was stuck in the bullpen, so I guess he knew he didn't want to leave. He didn't want to leave. He said it. He was ready. He said he was going to stay on the City Field. I remember after the game when they lost to the Padres in Game 3 of the wild card in 22, I think he stayed out on the field to like take it in one more time because he didn't want to leave. He said it, but obviously, we took the best next opportunities that came along. Now, if I'm correct, he didn't sign with Kansas City right away. Correct? He signed with the Padres.
Yeah, he was on the Padres at one point.
He was
I
at the
forget who
Padres
he got traded for.
last year. I think he
Or if
signed
it
with.
was a free agency.
I think it was free agency. He signed with Kansas City, so now he went to Kansas City. I think he was pretty good with the Padres, but he's dominant with Kansas City. So it's the best thing for his career. Sometimes you got to do the best thing for yourself, And it's looking out pretty good for Seth Lugo.
Yeah.
So I remember when he was a starter at first. I did see him start one time when he was on the Mets. So I wish imagine if they had him now. I'll forget about it. But who knows if he would have been the same? He was decent on the Mets. But would he have been the same? We don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
mean, who knows? But
who knows? But you know how a lot of players they leave the New York market and they're different. They're just different players. Like Nolan Ryan.
But a lot of it isn't. They leave New York, but it's not the New York market. They leave New York. Like Nolan Ryan, it wasn't like it was New York that made him a pro. He went to California. Like if Nolan Ryan, instead of going to the California Angels, he went to the New York Yankees, he might not have been heard from again. Because when he went to California, it was the guys he was with, that pitching staff, they helped him. Same thing with Randy Johnson. Randy Johnson started his career on Montreal.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing. He couldn't figure it out. Then when he went to Seattle, he got that kind of guidance. So I don't know. It's weird. Sometimes, like, it really is, you just need to hear it from the right person at the right time.
Right.
Pedro says that about what's his name? I forget who.
Pedro Martinez? About who?
Yeah, that somebody helped his career out a lot and told him to stop throwing. It might have been like a splitter or something like that. It's like, dude, like your changeup is electric.
Ella Pedro. I wish
focus on that.
If he goes to Fanatics Fest again, I definitely would get a ball from him.
I would too. And I get another Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
I just create a monopoly on Paul Pierce baseballs. They're all mine.
But what about who are the rest of the starters for the rest of the playoffs?
We had Spencer Torkelson for the Astros. I forget. I'm watching it on MLB Network. Sean Manaea for the Mets going against Frankie Montas.
It's gonna be interesting.
Manaea 12-6, 3.47 ERA, 181.2 innings pitched. A little less than I thought. 184 strikeouts per 63 walks. A 1.08 WHIP. Montas 7-11. Oh, here comes Slurpee Boy. ERA 4.84. No, okay. 4.84 ERA, 150.2 innings pitched, 148 strikeouts for 66 walks, and a WHIP of 137. He started the year off on the Reds. It was very good for them.
Okay.
And then they traded them in division. Kind of weird. Kind of a weird move. We don't see that too often. We'll go back. Run it back. All right, we got coming here, waiting. Commiserating. No. Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
No, I'll just look it up.
But definitely,
The starters wild card game 2. All right. Yeah, Tigers Astros will be Hunter Brown, and Tyler Holton.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Definitely very interesting matchup.
And then I'm just trying to see who's the starters for the Braves and Padres. Although, it's Max Fried and it's Dylan Cease.
Man, that's going to be interesting to.
Assuming they kept up with everything that they've been saying that's going to be Dylan Cease. And I mean, you got Musgrove for game 3. Max Fried. The Braves. Oh, I know you're a Mets fan, so you have no sympathy. But, dude, Chris Sale, the Triple Crown winner, is on a playoff team and can't pitch because of an injury.
Back spasms. That definitely is low.
They weren't good either. The Braves didn't look good yesterday. They used their other kind of ace Monday against you guys. They almost won the game, and then they lost it. So, I mean, they made the playoffs anyway. What do they care? But I think they do care about, instead of going all the way to the West Coast, going to Milwaukee. Your schedule was a little easier.
Who would have thought that would have been much easier for the Mets? I wanted the Mets to play the Padres. I don't know why. I thought that was a good idea.
Hold your horses on much easier, brother. It's 2 out of 3. But
true.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, the Braves looked horrible last night.
Yeah, I was watching some of the game.
I didn't even recognize too many competitive at-bats. I know Michael King came in fully rested and everything like that. As chants of "That's Our King" rained down from the heavens of Petco Park. And their hero took them to the promised land, game 1. But the Braves looked horrible. I cannot believe that that's a World Series pedigree team.
That a lot of the players, they're on that team are hurt.
Yeah.
So like, could you fault them for that, or like, does it?
No, not necessarily. But they
still have some great players.
I think a lot of it was the travel.
Right, a lot of the travel, playing
like,
the doubleheader, and then you got to go to California. Then that jet lag, and that atmosphere. I don't know if you said you were watching the game. That atmosphere in San Diego looked electric.
Be wary of the city with only one professional sports team.
Yeah,
if I can make like a chart of Dennis's playoff rules to follow, keep me as far away from those cities as possible. I don't want Portland. I don't want to see the Kings. The Kings fans, Sacramento Kings fans, are wild. I think they're known for just being like kind of lunatics. The Bills. I mean, they have the Sabres, but the Bills, let's be honest, until the Sabres can get to the playoffs. But when they do, they'll bring the ruckus.
It's sad. San Diego. It'd be cool if San Diego could go back to they could bring back a football team. The Chargers never should have left. That upset me.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
always talk about, how I get like a little, beautiful mindy about sports markets. I don't understand. Why are they trying so hard to make LA football work? Failed in the 70s. Failed in the 90s. Failing now.
They should have kept they should have just made it the Rams. I don't know why they needed to have the Chargers and the Rams. That to me was too much.
You think?
Like, really, for San Diego, they had a big market for the Chargers. And they have a decent history. I know they never won a Super Bowl. Well, they had been to it.
Spanos, the owner, that's the problem there.
It's all about money.
But
at the end of the day, because imagine taking away. Imagine if the Jets or the Yankees or the Mets or the Giants. Imagine they said, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna pick up. We're gonna move somewhere else." Which is essentially what happened with the Brooklyn Dodgers and the New York Giants at the time. Like, I can't imagine what my grandparents were like. What my grandpa was feeling when the Dodgers left. I can't imagine how he was. But like, in today's day and age, imagine if that happened.
Well, I mean, you could always be playing at like Citi Field and then move somewhere like, I don't know, that's not impossible to get to or anything like that. And, go all the way to East Rutherford, New Jersey with like 800 different highways and bridges and this, that, the others that you got to cross before you even get stuck in traffic for 4 hours in the parking lot.
That's what happened. That's literally what happened to me this Sunday.
Yeah.
But,
I would kind of slow your roll down of like, could you imagine if one of our New York teams moved? Actually, I can imagine that. It's happened to both of them.
Right.
So,
true, but they're not the New Jersey Jets or Giants. But
Yeah, but they should be.
No. Well,
They're not in New York.
they got to come back to New York. One day it's going to happen. If anything, it's going to happen to the Jets.
Don't hold your breath.
I'm just glad the Mets are in New York. I'm glad they're in Queens,
The
like
Giants
in
just
New
play
York.
Yankee Stadium.
Imagine.
Could you imagine?
That'd be cool. That'd be
Giants
cool.
at Yankee Stadium.
It was a thing back in the day.
Let's
Back
go
in the
Giants.
but
Let's
but
go
back to
Yankees.
San Diego. But they have a big market. I've been to San Diego. I've been to Petco Park. It's a beautiful ballpark. I went to that's where I see the home run derby, and that's obviously when I saw Stanton win it. It's a beautiful city, and at nighttime it wasn't that like rambunctious or like it wasn't like New York City where it's like it's out there. New York, like there's so much in New York City. It's like another world. Um, like it was just a calm. I don't know. It was not. I don't know what it was like during the day, but it was pretty calm. So like I don't know why San Diego like I would have kept football there, but like you said when you said before, a city that has one sports team. That's a scary fan base. You don't want to mess
If
with.
you don't. And the thing with San Diego is it has a reputation of being a very livable city.
It probably is. Like I said,
It has like an immaculate reputation.
it was a
60
Wednesday.
degrees year round.
I think it was a Tuesday. It was a Tuesday I was there. So I didn't, I was sure it's calm on a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's got a good reputation.
But but that atmosphere, it looked amazing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other teams that have only one sports team.
Well, it used to be Oakland.
Oh, too soon, buddy.
Am I wrong?
No.
I'm just saying. It used to be, but now
No,
unfortunately,
you're not wrong. Now they're playing in a freaking parking lot in Sacramento.
what?
They're playing in the sand lot.
I guess Portland.
Shoot, I thought I just saw Brent Rooker taking at bats in my backyard. No, I'm kidding.
I guess Portland.
Yeah, the Trailblazers. We got
It used to be Vegas before the
Kings.
Vegas got the Raiders. Like because they had the Knights. The Knights, I guess, was the first team they had. That was the first professional team in Vegas.
Don't do our women like that. The Aces.
That too. My apologies.
Mm-hmm. The ladies.
My apologies to the ladies. Shout out to the Vegas.
San Antonio.
That's one. Okay.
And that's one. That's proof of concept right there. Their fans. They bring the ruckus. Yeah.
But either way, that atmosphere looked electric though. Just looking at San Diego.
Yeah.
Hey, let me take a look at the stats. Let's bring up the game.
There's people are probably thinking there's a bunch of NHL teams. There is, but they're Canadian. We're thinking U.S. I can't speak of the markets of Edmonton. Maybe it's nice. I don't know.
But either way, I think for the Mets' benefit, I think it was better that. I think it was better that they ended up playing in Milwaukee. I mean, both atmospheres. Obviously, I was watching the Mets game. While I was working, I managed to find a way. No matter what, Mets are in the playoffs. I managed to find a way to watch, and still work at the same time. But I was watching most of the game. The first inning was electric. I remember when Peralta struck out like the first two batters. That place went bonkers. But then obviously the Mets were playing how they were, and then the place got a little quiet. After it was 8-4, the place was like you could hear a pin drop. But just for watching, the Padres. I mean, trying to bring up the game. I don't know why it's. Let's see. Trying to find a game. Yesterday. Let's see. Yeah, it's 4-0.
What is this, Tigers?
No, Padres, Braves.
Oh, that's my Tiger. Rawr. Grr. Tigers game was fun. I won a little yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Talking to a man who won $20 yesterday.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
Recognize.
But obviously the game was 4-0. Michael King, that was, former Yankee, pitched a gem. He had 7 scoreless innings, 5 hits allowed, and 12 strikeouts. What a gem. Looks like the Juan Soto trade's working out for the Padres after all. And they had a good end to the year too. Taking the wild card spot. The top wild card spot, and now just seeing how they are. Let's take a look at other players. Tatis with that. I remember that home run. Just you could tell that crowd was electric. You got Luis Arias on another playoff team. Good for him. Um,
Luis Arias, man. That's my guy. Arias con pollo.
it's your favorite guy.
Yeah. Chicken and Rice, the worst fantasy baseball team I've ever managed. But hey, you know what? We gave it a ride.
But it's so no. I mean, good for Michael King though, man. I don't, like former Yankee, he was looking good. And Suarez got closed out the game. And the Braves, you could tell they went up a lot of their bullpen in this game, if I'm correct.
Yeah, because I mean,
I think
they had to
it's like
empty it on Monday.
they're playing on like their last leg.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah, I'd say it's a must-win for them tonight. With Max Fried on the mound, this is the start you got to win. But no, literally, they have to win.
right. I feel like when
And
Max
if he
Fried
wins,
yeah,
I don't know if he'd come out of the pen for Game 3, depending on how he does tonight. Because I mean, it really is all hands on deck. Darcy blows. I mean, like, you've seen Pirates of the Caribbean, of course you have.
yeah, 100%.
They're in that Kraken mode, brother. They're going against the Kraken. Their backs are to the wall. So they got to buckle down.
I definitely, if they can get the game tonight, I feel like they definitely have some momentum in the series because at least they got Max Fried coming in for them. A starting pitcher coming in. I mean, they managed. It was only 4-0, but still, the bats were just, I mean, it's hard to go, when you go up against Michael King and the head start he had, it's obviously going to shut down the bats there. So we'll look into tonight's game for them soon. But let's take a look at Kansas City versus Baltimore. I feel bad because Baltimore, they were hot this year, man. They had a great start to the year, and then it just, I don't know, the Yankees said otherwise. So obviously Kansas City. Kansas City is a great team too. I mean, we saw them in the beginning of the year. So they're a great team too. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that game goes. Obviously, Bobby Witt had the only run scored.
Wait, did we go to a Royals game?
We did? No, I did.
Oh, okay.
Me and Cooper definitely saw. Me and Cooper went to see Dwight Gooden's retirement, and it was against the Royals.
Right.
And Budo pitched that game. It was a good game. I saw Bobby.
Anytime the Royals are in New York, it's always like great deals. Whatever.
You're good.
Yeah.
Man, the Royals have Tommy Pham. That's crazy.
They do.
Who pitched for them? It was Reagan's.
Yup. 8 strikeouts. Stand him up, knock him down.
Pitch. Ooh, Burns. Oh, my Burns went 8 innings.
Yep.
Holy crap.
They still lost.
Oh, that sucks. Future Met.
So
hopefully.
They I mean, dude. That's like if the Lions would have lost to the Seahawks Monday night after the game Jared Goff had.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like Corbin Burns, what more could you ask? Dude was standing on his head, as they say for our hockey fans here. Hockey coming back next week. Got my Devils jersey, Brandon. You don't seem too thrilled.
Let's go Islanders.
I was going to say, would you prefer one of those ugly Islander jerseys?
Hey.
Oh, no, he didn't say that.
No, nice. What kind of jersey? Was it a Jack Hughes?
No, it's Dougie Hamilton.
Okay.
Yeah. When I wear it, my leg just explodes. Corbin Burns went 8 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts. Not bad.
Future
Dougie Hamilton. He's got to stay on. He's got to stay on the ice, man. Off topic. Dougie, buddy, come on, tighten it up. Get an Allen key. Tighten it up.
I do have an. I mean, hey, I'm the cleaner. I have the Allen keys. I'll get.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's, and I know they said ESPN brought an interesting stat after the Met game. They said 88% of the teams that take game 1 likely take the series after. And you could just feel it. Just talking about these teams and just looking back at the games, you could just tell just some momentum, especially seeing the Braves game yesterday. Just seeing San Diego, the way they were playing, the way the Braves looked, the way the atmosphere looked. How did the Padres not take the rest of the series?
Oh, yeah, that's over.
Yeah.
Done.
But I feel like they got a good shot tonight because Max Fried's on the mound for them. But still,
Yeah, but
how,
I mean,
how did the Padres not take it? But don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. But then again,
I was a little worried. I was a little worried by the Braves having a champagne celebration after Game 2 of the doubleheader. I was a little worried there. Because the Mets could get away with it. They're only going. They're not going as far over. The Braves, you're going all the way over there, man down, no sale.
it's not looking
Because if
good.
they have Sale and Fried, this is a different story. These are two destroyers. You ever played the game Battleship, Brandon? Two destroyers, two battleships.
I watched the movie with Liam Mann.
That's a poll. I have to reach out to my guy. I think he's in Korea.
Yeah, he's somewhere out.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Serving our country, our armed forces. Shout out Liam Mann if he's watching.
Shout out Liam Mann.
Our good friend. And yeah, man. They would have been two destroyers in the water. Instead, Braves are looking more like that little PT boat. They're looking like that little two guy. It's the PT boat against the world, and I don't like this for the Braves. I don't like this for the Braves.
But Kansas City, they take the series.
Yeah, I think they do too. I think this stands. I don't see any of them like, whoa. Astros, they've kind of been like this all year. Let's be honest, they lucked into the playoffs. If the Mariners weren't so incompetent and constantly shooting themselves in the foot, they wouldn't be in the playoffs to begin with. The Orioles, they're coming in, another team that's lost a lot down the stretch. The Yankees turned their season around. The same series the Orioles turned theirs around, but they went two different ways. They went from, catching the Yankees to falling apart in late July or early August, whatever it was. And since then, they've just been lost. They've been lost. And now you have the Royals that are a pretty good team. They haven't been dominant as of late either. They've been struggling a lot, struggling mightily. And they're a young team, so they're very similar. But they took game one. Now you got to win two, and they just got to win one more. I don't know, man. I don't know. They got the pitching advantage, too. You got a ballpark with a right field that's the Grand Canyon, or left field that's a Grand Canyon, excuse me, against the pitch-to-contact savant like Seth Lugo.
Yeah.
With that defense around him, that athletic play around him, I don't know. It's going to be tough. Every team that lost, I could talk myself into like, yeah, they're not going to win another game or two games. Now, if I had to say what team rallies, Astros. Astros are my pick to rally because, let's be honest, look at the pedigree of that roster. It's not like them to go out in the first round. But, yeah. I have to say something about your game. Man, what a game to win. And Jesse Winker, 2 RBI triple. He gets into it with Willie Adames over whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I know Willie Adames sits up and like he's that kind of guy, something like that. Like he's the kind of
something
player.
Like that.
I don't know what it was chirping about.
And Willie Adames then has the error, which breaks the game open for the Mets.
The Jose Iglesias, yeah.
Now, you could either go two different ways if you're Willie Adames and the Brewers. You could either go up or go down hard. But because, the Mets are fired up about that. Like, that's your guy. That's the guy that's going to start in with us. That guy? That dude? He's a can. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had that extra intensity. They just came off that Monday doubleheader in a must-win game.
The way they did it.
Back from down. I mean, it was And the Mets broadcast, at the end of it, they said it was like 4 games in one. It really was. Schwellenbach dominated for 7 innings. He starts the 8th, doesn't finish it. Tyrone Taylor, the igniter. Leadoff double. Both games so far that you guys must win games. Tyrone Taylor has been the straw that stirs the drink. So if he's not in that lineup today, buddy, you
Yeah.
better be calling up
Call up Mendoza.
Steve Cohn and Carlos Mendoza and saying, hey, tighten it.
No, and what a great game yesterday. Honestly, I know I was watching. Like I said, the atmosphere looked electric too. Like I got a little nervous, especially for Severino because he was a little shaky to start
He looked horrible.
at first. Then he picked it up and he was lights out after that. Except for the top of the fourth, where obviously the Brewers making a comeback because then they took the lead. But luckily, he was able to get 6 innings, and I think it was Budo who pitched the next 2, and then Ryan Stanky pitched closed out the game for them. Yeah, Budo did pretty good. Just I'm not shocked because like I think the Mets would have to be riding high after a game they had on Monday. The way they did it, and I feel like we have to talk about that soon before you leave. What because after that kind of comeback, how are you not riding high on them? Like because the way the Mets are, and I said it today in our fantasy football chat, if the Mets don't win the World Series, I don't know what like I don't know. I'm not gonna do anything, but I'm saying like you know what I mean. Like the way they are, they have too many good stories. They gel and they mesh well. How did they not make it to the World Series at least?
They're my pick to come out of the National League.
Yeah, honestly, I hope I go to my first. I want to go to my first celebration parade. I'm not going to work. I told my dad. I said, "I hope you know, I'm not going to work. Just get ready." That's another thing. I should check my work stat. Make sure I have the time to actually do that. But like you know what I mean. Like I'm confident with the Mets right now. Like I'm not shocked at the way they did. Like I feel like people would be shocked that they played 2 games. They've been traveling back and forth. How are they not like gassed, exhausted, or tired? This is the opposite.
Yeah. They're like just like running on adrenaline, dude. They're jazzed up.
They're jazzed up. They're playing together. They got good team. They're making good contact. Just having good at bats, playing good defensively, just high energy and like I said, taking that game was big. Taking game 1. Now they got. Hopefully, they can clinch it tonight. With game 2.
And Alonso's looked really bad.
Yes, Alonso.
But
he's
they're winning despite that, and he's a behemoth ready to explode.
He's still been playing great defensively.
Oh yeah, defensively. I can't say nothing about him. That polar bear could move, brother. At the plate, I mean, game 2 of that doubleheader. I know he played so he could have the 162 games played. He had one of the worst at bats I've seen in a long time. Like, I forget who was pitching, but it was like they're like the kinds of swings I had in Little League. And guys, if you had my Little League trading card, you'd see I sucked. Like and then yesterday, I think he got maybe a single or something like that. But I'm not saying it to besmirch him. I'm saying it, Tyrone Taylor, he comes up, does what he's got to get done. Iglesias, he gets a big hit. Winker, who Mets fans are ready to drag through the streets of, Queens. Winker, 2 RBI triple, fires the team up. You get what I'm saying? And then the Brewers take a 2-game, 2 runs.
Yeah.
And then the Mets say, no, we're going to drop 5 on you. Here you go. And they wind up winning eventually 8-4. So this is interesting. Hunter Brown going for the Astros. They just said he's a Detroit native. Power Lions fan. Yeah. So aside from Mets Brewers, unless of course you have anything else you want to talk about that or the doubleheader.
Like I said, I'm excited for tonight's game. I think it's going to be interesting to see how Sean Manaea. I was very critical on him and it was Manaea and was it Quintana? because I thought they were going to pull a Chris Bassett, and not this shame on Chris Bassett, but in 22 when the lights came on, I always say it to my dad, he loves Chris Bassett. He wanted him back so bad, but I said, and I'm like, when he came to the stretch when they needed him, he folded. When the lights came on him, the Friday night lights, and the stage was high, he folded. So that's why I wasn't too high on Chris Bassett, and that's why I don't want him. I would have minded him back, but that's why. So I thought that Sean Manaea, and I forgot who pitched Saturday's game. Um, I was just a little concerned, but I yeah, who pitched that game? It was Quintana, but hopefully Manaea redeems himself a little bit and can close out the series for the Mets. If they don't win tonight, I feel like a lot of the momentum would shift back to the Brewers.
Yeah.
So they need to win tonight.
Also, only one home team won yesterday. The Padres. All the other road dogs won.
Yes, they did. The Tigers. Wait, would you say it again?
All three of the other road dogs won.
They did. And the Tigers beat the Astros. We got to talk about them. I didn't know Verlander got left off the roster.
He did.
That's crazy.
It is crazy, but he took it in stride. He said, "Listen, everybody else has been doing good. This is a must-win series."
But good for the Tigers. Them first time making the postseason in over 10 years, and then you got, coming out playing lights out against the Astros. Tyler Skubal, right? That's his name, correct?
Yeah, Terry Skubal. I've heard it like 800 different ways. At this point, I don't know. The guy, listen, and I mean this as a compliment. The dude's got a Star Wars name. What do you want? It's like
Freddie Valdez started for the Astros. Framber Valdez, forgive me. What happened in this, Dennis?
I don't know. Sometimes when you get somebody like Valdez, who's not a total strikeout guy and relies a lot on, pitching to contact and things like that, if you get a good line drive up the middle gap team like the Tigers, that's a pretty, solid, strong counter to it. Just, hey, death by 1,000 cuts, get on base. Just get on base. Just get on base. Just get on base. And that's what the Tigers did. So, as far as Skubal goes, hey, he's going to win the American League Cy Young. He won the American League Triple Crown. What are you going to say? Like, how could you be mad?
Yeah, no, good for them. But let's take a look at the series. Let's take a look at the games coming up. I know we talked about the Mets and the Brewers, but I know we certainly definitely talked about the Padres and the Braves. I feel like we know how that's going to go. But do you see the Mets closing out the series tonight? I definitely see a possibility. If Sean Manaea could pitch lights out like he did, and the Mets bats keep up the way it is, then how did they not take game 2?
They got to score early. Leave no doubt.
Nope.
You can't hang around against the Brewers. They got to the bullpen yesterday after Freddie Peralta got taken out. But you don't want – the last situation you want is top of the 9th, Devin Williams on the mound. Top of the 8th, Devin Williams on the mound. Don't want it. You got to get out there early. If I'm the Mets, I'm testing Frankie Montas. If I have Lindor on first, I'm going. If I got Marte on first, I'm going. If I got Marte or Lindor at second, I might go. Put the pressure on. Put the pressure on and don't stop.
Don't stop. Don't stop believing.
Yeah, you got to go. You got to get as many runs as you can. I know it's like, well, Dennis, thank you. That's the point of baseball. But you got every opportunity you got to take.
100%.
Because Devin Williams is looming in the bullpen there. You don't have Diaz tonight. He could pitch. That's an insane decision, but he could pitch. He went how many pitches Monday? He had 28 the day before. I'm guessing they want him in game 3. That way, if they need him to go 2 innings, they can go 2 innings with him and
Right.
win. So, your bullpen is coming in kind of taxed. Budo, how much did he pitch yesterday and the day before? He pitched yesterday too, didn't he?
Budo? Yes.
Yeah.
He did pitch 2 innings, 3 strikeouts.
So I know they have Stanek as kind of like a long-ish relief guy that they've used in the past, and he only went one inning yesterday.
Right.
I get it. But and I mean, I know they like Brazoban. He's got an awesome name, Hoyoscar Brazoban. But man, it's a ride watching that guy pitch. Because sometimes it's like, geez, where did they find this guy? This guy's sick. And then it's like a ball like 9 feet out of the strike zone. You're like, this dude is what? But and there's been questions about the Mets bullpen all year. Like, I know
There has been. Yes,
if
definitely.
Reed Garrett comes in, I know every Met fan, that's not what you want. Right? Am I right on that?
It's
Because
not the
you
first
don't know what you're
option.
going to get. He's a Jekyll and Hyde player.
It's amazing how Budo could easily be a starter. Like, if you want to talk about like comparing Seth Lugo to him, he easily could be a starter. And they're 2 different pitchers, but when Budo has been asked to start, he's been playing pretty good for them. Even at the bullpen, it's great. So I love Budo. If they can have him if they can put him in every other game, go ahead and be my guest. I'm all for it.
Yeah. I'm excited. I think the Mets Brewers, that could be a really good one. I think Braves Padres.
And
I think it's
another
over.
thing before the Mets Brewers, it's crazy how like from beginning of the year to now, how so much could change for each team. Like the Brewers dominated the Mets in the first series. I was there for the second game too. And then obviously they almost swept the Mets in the series to end the year. But the Mets have all the momentum now, and they're dominating the Milwaukee. Like, it's just great.
Yeah, they call it postseason, not the regular season extended, Brandon. Postseason. It's a new slate.
That's
Clean
right.
slate.
But definitely
Your
a great
best,
game.
my best.
Definitely a great game by Iglesias. Obviously starting that, and then Vientos and then Martinez contributed. It's just great all around from the
My
team.
boy JD. I'm vindicated.
Hopefully they celebrate tonight with chant. Hopefully we'll see.
Yeah.
And then so then we'll revisit that next week. But obviously just taking a look at the rest of the bracket. I like the Padres against the Braves. I think the Braves are going to play a better game. They're going to put up a better fight. But how does San Diego not come out of that taking the series?
I don't know.
And then you got. I think Kansas City's going to be tough. I think that series, Kansas City versus Baltimore, it's going to be tough. I don't know. Corbin Burns, they still got fire in them Baltimore. Corbin Burns pitched 8 innings, but he's not pitching again.
No, that's the thing to me is their ace went 8 innings, allowed 5 hits, only 1 earned run. What do you want from him? At some point, this happened with them last year. I keep hearing about how good these prospects are. They're hitting prospects. This Wunderkind, who from South Carolina or whatever, is coming up. Oh, he can play 800 different positions and rakes, bro. He's sick. You got to see him. Anytime it's a big game, they suck. What do you want from me? It happened last year. It wasn't Aaron Hicks like one of their better players last year in the postseason?
Yes, but then that didn't last too long though.
Brother. Like they're talking about like last night, Adley Rutschman's hitting him. Like he's been struggling as of late. It's like, yeah, he went from being the catcher of the future to not even being this, the best catcher in his own division with how Austin Wells has played. So I keep hearing all these guys, Westberg and Gunnar Henderson, and dude, when's it going to show?
Yeah, no, you keep hearing about these guys, and it's
Are we trying to win a World Series, or are we trying to what? So I don't know.
Yeah.
The Royals, on the other hand, they got their young star. They got their young stud. Whoa, wait till this kid comes up. Bobby Witt Jr., the future is now. Oh, and he actually showed up and did the damn thing. Well, Now what am I supposed to think? I'm gonna go with that team. And Big Salvin Perez late in the game. Nice little single. Didn't really do much. It was just a regular single, but I always like to see the big boy get a little action. Yeah.
But do we think Detroit takes a series against Houston? I feel like I just a lot of these teams, like wild card teams, they got a lot of like they got a lot to show for. Like they show more than what they are. Like they are like who's the coach from Arizona? That
Torey Lavello?
no, for the Cardinals. Football.
Lane Kiffin?
They are who we thought they were.
Oh, I don't know.
I forgot his name, but either way, I'll try to bring it up. Either way, these teams, it's like people they're more than who we, in a good way. Like they are, they're more who we think they are.
I do have bad
Like
news.
they think what's that?
Oh, continue.
No, what are you gonna say?
I have bad news for Tigers fans.
Uh-oh.
I did a coin flip. Lucky penny.
Okay.
Went with the Astros.
Really? Dennis Green, that was his name. Yes. Really? Okay, so you got okay.
I don't know if I want to attempt the lucky penny or not. But I was thinking Tigers, man. I was thinking Tigers. But like I said earlier, if I had to pick one of these teams that lost game 1 to regroup, it would be the Astros. Look at the pedigree. I mean, you look at postseason leaders offensively. I mean, they're almost all Astros. So, yeah.
But all right. I guess that wraps it up. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. LFGM, let's go Mets. Any excitement? You ready for your Yankees? Are you ready for your Yankees,
right.
then?
I am ready. I'm stoked. Oh, there's more to it? I thought it was just a little.
No. I think you're doing good.
Gotcha.
I think you're fine.
Oh, okay.
All right, but hey,
I'm ready to see the pinstripes. And I don't want to see those Padres pinstripes. I'm ready for my Yankee pinstripes, bro.
I'll be ready. I'll definitely be watching. Hopefully, I'll be done with my stuff for what I need to do at work, and not to rat myself out, but I'll be sitting somewhere, and I'll be watching the game. So I'm gonna make sure I watch every pitch when I can. When I get my stuff done first, work important first. Work first.
Yeah, work hard, play hard.
Or like I said, I can do both: work and listen to the Mets at the same time. I can manage.
I used to do that at Target when I worked nights.
So yeah, like I said, I'd be no matter what, I'll be watching the game, whether I'm working and watching at the same time, or I'm watching it. No matter what, I will be watching every pitch tonight. So either way, I think that does it. We thank you for joining us on another edition of Battin and Chattin. Very great episode, in my opinion. My co-host Denis Tuohy and the entire Blackjack Media Group team. I'm Brandon Natale saying so long, and we'll see you next time. LFGM.